Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. They've got all the G3 models you could want. They got Stingray, they got Sweetwater, they got Hurricane. Basically, if you can think of a boat, they probably have it at Madisonville Marine. New, used, all with a warranty, all with great customer service. Bob Hodge can attest to that.
Fantastic customer service.
There's attesting to it. Bob Hodge got his boat down at Madisonville Marine. You should too. Highway 411 North in Madisonville, madmarine.com to learn more. All right, want to welcome in two new members of the panel. We have right here Ryan Callahan back with us. Down there, Chuck Cavaleras back with us. All right, Georgia was playing backups all over the field yesterday. Tennessee, not so much. Late into the game, they still had their starters in there on defense. Early on, as I said in the last segment, early on, Butch Jones went to the kids, mainly because he had nothing to lose, I don't think. Last couple of years, it's looked like he hasn't wanted to trust in the backups until necessary. And we've heard a lot of, well, these guys are green. When somebody gets hurt and you have to put them in there, these guys are green. Okay, well, part of that could be that you haven't found ways to get those guys in. They didn't do a lot of rotating against Indiana State until deep into the second half.
Exactly.
Yesterday, you don't do much rotating, even when it's a blowout. Is it fair to say that that's kind of a problem with your player development, is the fact that you don't trust playing the backups, or is that a bad observation on my part?
No, I think you nailed it. How about Batuli? That's a perfect example of a player. Micah Abernathy at Florida, we saw the last play. Well, he's on the field for 90 snaps. I mean, you look up and down, running back. Why do you have Kelly out there in the UMass game so much, too? I mean, you can go down the list, and I think it's especially true on defense. So, yeah, I mean, you have all these great recruiting classes, but do all these players get on the field? No.
Ryan, your thoughts on how they're – do you think they trust their backups, or do you think that's a problem?
Not enough. I think it is a problem. I think you look at what they are trying to do with those positions we talked about. I think they're trying to get in some backups at certain times, but I think there are too many missed opportunities, and this staff could do a better job of that. In some cases, it's not blowing out opponents. I think you look at too many missed opportunities. Texas Tech a couple years ago, they beat 24-0. Games they're not putting away early enough to get the backups in enough. That's a problem, too.
UMass last week.
Yeah.
Bob, your thoughts? You texted me or called me because there were still starters in on defense.
It was late in the fourth quarter yesterday, and Tennessee still had more than half its defensive starters on the field in the game. It was 38-0. It was before the field goal was kicked. And to me, that is a horrible thing. If you want to go and get Butch Jones for bad coaching, that to me stood out is why do you have defensive starters on the field in the last 7 minutes of a game you cannot win? And it's okay, we don't trust these guys. You don't trust them to what? You gave up a touchdown instead of giving up a field goal. I thought that was, what's a word, malfeasance? I just could not understand why at that point in the game you have defensive starters out there. Exactly. It makes no sense.
Daniel, your thoughts?
I just think it goes back to, I don't necessarily think it's backups as much. I think it's just if he doesn't trust them, if he doesn't see consistency day in and day out in practice, he's not putting them in the game. And I think that actually is a mistake because, again, how do you get a lot of these errors out? And I think it's going against someone that's not someone in your same color jersey in practice. You got to put them out there. You got to throw them out there. I mean, I remember watching Alabama film when you got Darian Cinnamore when he played here, and true freshman out there running around couldn't hit any of his guys correctly. But when he got to year 2 and 3 at Alabama, or actually I guess he came here about year 3, but you could see he had got rid of all that stuff. And so that's where you develop it.
And we've all been around teams, guys, where somebody was maybe not the greatest practice player, and I understand the competition in practice, but when the game started, there's something that clicked. And that game day player. And yesterday, Georgia was rotating defensive linemen early. Tennessee wasn't. Georgia only has 7 yards, rushing in first quarter? Well, then that took a toll on Tennessee's defensive line, and then Georgia goes hurry up, running the ball, and that's when the game changed, as well as the turnover.
Ryan, I'll let you finish. I look at this, and when I understand if you're a coach, you're sitting there, this is my job. This is my $4 million a year salary. I'm going to play guys I trust in practice. I get that. But I don't believe that all those guys at Georgia practiced at the exact same level. There were some that practiced better than others, and Kirby Smart was still ready to put some of those backups in there. Your thoughts, Ryan?
In the past, too, I think the staff has had too much of a reliance on those veteran players they trust from practice, and on top of that, I just think you've practiced that way, you've played that way. Everything just kind of seems to point to them not looking at anyone besides their proven veterans as guys they want to play.
Very quick, Bob.
what horrible thing could have happened if you'd have played a backup that doesn't practice yesterday when you're down 38-0? I mean, oh my gosh, we could have lost by 45-0.
Well, they
Good
may be
thing we
looking
didn't
at,
play.
they may be looking at that, thinking that. I don't know if that's how I would be
Well,
thinking. But
if you are, I mean, then if you are,
well, they may say, look, 41 is better than 51 in terms of the amount of heat you're going to get. They may be looking at it
I
that
think
way.
part of the reason their quarterback situation is what it is because they didn't get Dormady in enough last year.
Exactly,
frankly.
and we've said that.
Okay. Chuck said that.
Yes.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about this team. Is there any sign of a recovery? Tennessee teams have had massive recoveries mid-season. Do we see any hints of it here? And does Larry Scott's offense now go on the bad Mount Rushmore of Tennessee new coordinator units? Clausen, Sunseri, Shoup last year, Scott this year? Come on back.